The Young and the Restless recap. Monday, October 2. Sally's fantasy sparks confession. Claire's intriguing past. Welcome to my channel Dream USA 24. The Young and the Restless Y&R recap for Monday, October 2 reveals that Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, will have an attitude when he meets Nate Hastings, seen Dominic, for breakfast, so Nate won't appreciate him being so snide about getting his coffee and newspaper. Although Adam will apologize and act like he's ready to embrace his assistant job, Nate will only let him do menial tasks. After Nate admits he's going to hire another assistant for important work out of his own pocket, Adam won't think Victor Newman, Eric Braden, will approve. There will be some bickering about whether Adam is capable of change, so Nate will eventually admit he was put in place as a safeguard against Adam. However, Adam will refuse to let Nate push his buttons about babysitting him and will plan to keep his nose clean. Once Adam insists Nate won't break him, he'll warn him not to try. At Newman Enterprises, Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinel, will claim she's done fighting with Victor and now sees the wisdom of his decision to reclaim the throne. Victoria will also relent on giving Adam another chance if that's what Victor wants, so he'll be suspicious since she's folding like this. After Victoria assures Victor that her change of heart is genuine, he'll point out that he could still fire her if the situation becomes untenable again. In Sally Spectra's Courtney Hope, sweet, she'll dream of kissing Adam and imagine that Nick Newman's Joshua Morrow, catching them in the hallway. Please subscribe my channel, thank you. Once Sally wakes up startled, Nick will offer the breakfast that he had delivered. Since Nick missed Sally so much on his trip, he'll let her know that he loves her more than he ever thought possible. Nick will hope Sally might be ready to say it back, so she'll assure Nick that she does love him. Sally just won't be prepared to say she's in love with Nick yet, so he'll insist there's no pressure. Sally will talk about everything she's been through, so it'll just be hard for her heart to get there. That said, Sally will be very interested in surprising Nick with something and will invite him to the park for lunch. Nick will call Victor to cancel their lunch plans so he can eat with Sally instead. Once Nick hangs up, Sally will suggest he should show Victor that he still loves him. Nick will call back and pitch the idea of meeting up with Victor for a drink later, so Victor will admit he'd like that very much. Once Nate and Adam arrive in Victor's office, they'll act like they've reached an understanding. Victor will point out that Victoria has also come around, so Adam will flash a phony smile at her. After Adam and Victoria are gone, Victor will ask Nate about his breakfast with Adam. Nate will claim he's cautiously optimistic when it comes to Adam's attempt to prove he's changed. I'm less so, Victor will admit on Monday's Y&R episode. They're all falling into line too easily. Near the elevator, Victoria will clash with Adam and warn that Nate's going to bust him when he shows his true colors. Adam will think Victoria is the one Victor really needs to worry about. When Victoria shows her true colors instead, Adam will insist he'll be happy to nail her to the wall. At Society, Claire Grace, Haley Aaron will meet with Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, and Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver, to interview for the assistant role. Claire will talk about starting a small business when she was 12 with her friends since they cleaned houses and did odd jobs. After Claire reveals her passion for music, she'll note that she played the flute throughout school and made it her minor. Claire will insist her primary focus has always been marketing and business. Although Claire won't have much corporate experience, she'll have a glowing letter of recommendation from her one previous assistant job. Claire will prove she's done her research and will praise a smart deal that Audra just closed. Once Claire mentions Tucker McCall's Travers Street John Company, she'll suggest she's excited to see how it'll mesh with Newman Media. Claire will add that Audra must have a lot of ideas since she used to work with Mr. McCall. Despite there being a lot to do in Chicago where her last job was, Claire will prefer to live somewhere real and honest like Geno City. There will be some talk about Claire growing up in a small town in Oregon, where she was raised by her great-aunt after her parents died in a car accident. Claire will also mention spending some summers in Geno City with her friend Sophia Carmichael from college, so Nikki will talk about the charity work she's done with the Carmichael family. Once Claire lets them have a private discussion, Nikki will tell Audra that Claire is green, but she'll have a good feeling about her. After Claire returns, she'll be thrilled to learn she's got the job. Claire will vow not to let Nikki down and will thank her for the opportunity before exiting. Audra will mention how impressed Nikki seemed with Claire and will suggest that Nikki really enjoys mentoring. Nikki will note that's not the case when a protege slows her down or gets in her way, so Audra will assume they're not just talking about Claire anymore. Once Nikki says Audra assumed correctly, she'll saunter out of the restaurant. In the park, Sally will sit on a bench with some picnic supplies and have a fantasy about Nick confronting her while she's kissing Adam. In that daydream, Nick will accuse Sally of having an affair behind his back and will act like Adam's the reason she couldn't reciprocate his love profession. When Nick arrives and snaps Sally out of her fantasy, he'll ask if everything is okay. Adam kissed me, Sally will blurt out as she catches Nick off guard. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Sally will have some explaining to do, so stay tuned for updates on her side of the story.